Welcome to Hat-Trick City on WXCI 91.7, Danbury's only all-hockey radio show.
I know that some in our audience don't know the finer points of hockey.
You want me to dummy you again?
Hat tricks, baby! Woo-hoo!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this very also special episode of Hat-Trick City. I'm your host, DJ Patty Cake. As always, joined by DJ Uncle Matt on the other mic. This week, we got... Me. Yeah, that is him. We also got, this week, Kyle Gonzalez and Jonny Ruiz together in one room for the first time on the show. In one room, at least, together.
Yeah, it's really double trouble with these two guys on the show. We had talk a lot about hockey. These guys are two of the best hockey guys I know, and they've done a great job really leading this team. It's not easy at this level, and they both understand the task at hand, really like few other professionals in the league. So this was a great interview. I hope we get to have those two guys actually again later in the year because it's really it's always good to have the guys that lead the team and have a full kind of full spectrum view of what's going on. Yeah. Kind of come in here and chat with us.
Of course, and this weekend they're going to be playing out in New York. Totally, they're going to have a Friday night in Watertown, followed by a Saturday night in Elmira, and that was kind of one thing we wanted to address. That we talk about it with the guys, but we wanted to give our own kind of take aside from that. It's a lot of travel. Humps that they have to deal with this year, more so than last year, I feel. Yeah,
I think I experienced like the first kind of wave like this when I was with Dave McIsaac. I forgot if we went to Watertown. I mean, we definitely did a lot of traveling, but I think we went to Watertown, won the game, came back from Watertown. I think we played Delaware in the last game of the season 2 seasons ago, and that's basically what we're seeing a lot of now. It's either there's a home and away split between the Hat-Tricks and their opponents, or the Hat-Tricks are on the road and they're playing in 2 different cities on 2 different days, obviously mostly in upstate New York now because that's the little cluster we're in. Look, I don't totally get it. Like, if there's somebody out here that thought this was a good idea for the quality of the games, I don't know. People go see 3-game baseball series all the time. The NBA, there's a bit of a divisional element. NHL similar. So at the end of the day, I just think that this is what the league calls for. But I do think that we should have seen more back-to-backs. There's logistical reasons in terms of scheduling and ice availability for all these teams. I mean, you see the staggered starts that we had this year. That's going to continue. As the league grows, That's not going to get better. It's going to continue, right? So is it the end of the world? Not really. I mean, the truth is, I think that our leaders here in Danbury, anybody would tell you that, and it's the reason why there are very few weeknight games in this league. The logistics aren't there. The people coming out aren't coming out on a Wednesday night like they will on a Saturday. And, you wonder why you do that. It's ice time availability and stuff. I think that these arenas that we're in, especially today, like when Aviator had a team in the Federal League in Brooklyn, the Aviator Sports Center. I mean, that team really had to kind of play a bunch of weeknight games, and they played on the weekends, but they also had to have a lot of weekday games just because there's a lot of youth activity. It makes money. So ultimately, what we're beginning to see is that this is tough travel on the guys, and I just wonder what circumstances really led to this, what the blueprint for this season looked like, in order to get here, exactly like. I guess this has a lot to do with, I don't know how forcing not playing a back-to-back could really help things. It seems like you're just trading one bad habit for another, if it's trying to cut down on travel. But what do I know? I mean, they might be able to show us a spreadsheet where they say we saved $10,000 this week. And I'd much rather put $10,000 to bringing in guys to play on the team or paying, our top performing players more money than see it go to the, the Days Inn in Watertown, New York. But that's just my 2 cents. But to me, it makes more sense to just play back to backs, and I think that's how we have such good fan interaction around the league, not just with the home teams, but you see a guy like Ron Rogel, got himself a picture with Elmira's captain on the last trip up there. So it's great to see that level of interaction.
Yeah, and then, obviously this weekend, I think it'll be a interesting one. Obviously, challenges aside. Watertown has been a team that they've, I don't want to say struggled with, but it's definitely a lot more competitive than it was last year, I'd say.
It's interesting. I think when a team like Watertown, there's some advantages up there, right? First of all, they're the only show in town.
Yep.
They're not competing with any other sports really in that area that I know of. And then you have the accessibility to Canada. And now, listen, I don't know what he's doing. You have Brian Verbeek coaching the team. He had some professional playing experience. I know the guy has coached. Maybe you get it. I know he tried coaching for a weekend with Delaware last year. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was a very interesting
short-lived type of a thing. Again, the opportunity wasn't really there in Delaware to be successful. But listen, the guys joined on in Watertown. They beat the Hat Tricks right on opening night, and they've gone from there. They beat the Hat Tricks twice recently, so they've got 2 out of the 3, right?
Yeah,
I'm just looking at the schedule.
Yeah, no, you got it right. And both times Watertown won at a 6-5 score. The one time we beat them was 5-2 at the home opener.
It takes a little bit of organization in this league. Mm. It always has. I mean, Rob Miller, who coached the Aviators, he was a really good coach. This guy knew hockey, and he still does. But it's always been that way. I mean, Billy knows his hockey. He's thinking about things. He's watching tape. You have a guy like Voidy who is just obsessed with goaltending, giving these guys angles to consider and whatnot based on his inference into the game. I think the level of coaching is way up. Guys are seeing this as an opportunity not only to coach, in the minor leagues at higher levels, but also, overseas, national team jobs. I say that all the time, and we have a guest coming on, Kyle Gonzalez, today, and I've busted his chops about it, but I'm not really kidding. It's like he's somebody that I'd love to get involved. I've trying to make the connection to get him involved with the Mexican national team, competing at that IIHF level. It would be great to see guys from this league make that jump, because I think that's what it's all about at this level. The kind of the glory and the competition basically against yourself. So again, it's a competitive league now. Watertown has access to good players, and I think in Elmira, listen, Tyra Gurich, who played here with the Titans, I believe, that guy has been in the league a long time, and he knows hockey. He was part of a good Binghamton team for the last couple of years. He got Cameron Yarwood and I think a few other guys to go over with him to Elmira. It's a competitive team now, and that's one of the great things that you see in this league. It's really great. It's a true old school kind of small minor league thing, is that, these players go right into coaching and running the teams, and in the case of Joe Pace, I guess, and Billy McCreary, have ownership, a little bit of ownership stake involved in things, and coaching, playing. So to see these guys not playing back-to-backs and doing all the travel again. I just don't know if it's really making sense. Maybe it makes sense to them, and just in a way that we don't quite see. Doesn't sound like the players are crazy about it across the league, but it is what it is right now.
Yeah, and this weekend, obviously, I think Watertown will be the hump, but I think Elmira, they've gotten a little bit of a feel, so it might be kind of another repeat last time, get another feel, maybe going back and forth again. But I think it should be a good weekend. I'm hoping for at least a split. I don't know, but obviously the sweep is what we all want. But, given the stats that we have available, I think a split would most likely occur.
I mean, you're looking at a federal league that's there's a lot of talent now, and especially at the beginning of these seasons. There's guys that are probably right around now, guys that are dropping down, guys that are being called up, and the hat-tricks, this wasn't the best start to the season, but at the same time, there's a lot of talent around the league. And, Motor City comes in. They kind of go right into second place because of the switch that was made. That boosters, in my mind, that's great for Columbus, Mississippi, and Carolina. Because if Wytheville, which I thought they were being called Blue Ridge.
They are. I honestly don't know what's going on with that. A lot of people like to go back and forth. The league lists them as the Wytheville Blue Ridge Bobcats, which I don't even think is like official, like in that sense. It's not even like you can call it one or the other, but I'm pretty sure they're just Blue Ridge.
So let's just have something to consider, right? Let's just consider we're looking at the league standings right now. We've got the Continental and the Empire Division. Look, maybe, just maybe, somebody in the Continental Division said, hey, the Delaware Thunder were getting smacked around in the Empire Division for a few seasons. I mean, those games were give-me's.
Yeah.
They were give-me's.
No, they were.
And at the outcome, not to take anything away, I mean, you can't really argue. Not that Mississippi was much better last year, but you can't really argue that the Empire was stronger than the Continental as long as you had a team that couldn't get 10 wins after like 3 or 4 seasons in the league. And that was a third season because I think they played 19-20. They sat out the next year. They played the last. So that was the third season. So at the end of the day, I wonder if that had something to do with it. Hey, the geography isn't quite there, and at the same time, Baton Rouge or Wytheville, one of them is not going to be good. I just, looking at the standings today, looking at the veteran teams in Columbus, Carolina, Port Huron, Mississippi above them, one of them, too, just isn't going to be that good in that division. And who knows, man, this might seem like a little retribution for the Continental Division in getting the expansion teams are now all in their division, and that's another thing to consider besides geography. That now there's that Delaware, possibly a Delaware level team, moving into the Continental and creating the same effect.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm pretty pumped for this weekend. It's going to be a good one. I'm excited to watch more. I've been a little busy. I know we got some games those nights for the Null, but I'm sure we can kind of stream it on my laptop during the game because we'll have eyes on it. We'll kind of be doing like dual screens, looking back and forth every once in a while. But yeah, this is a great episode that we got for you guys. I'm pretty pumped for it. I'm sure Matt is as well. So
great to get these guys on.
Yeah. So stay tuned. Grab a nice warm food or drink or cold drink.
Warm drink, huh?
Yeah. I don't know.
A warm drink guy, huh?
I was gonna say it's the season. It's getting colder out. So
a warm Budweiser.
Oh God, no. Oh no.
Alrighty.
Let's go into this episode.
Take care.
This is Daniel Amesbury, your Ice Wars champion and Danbury Hat Tricks tough guy. You're listening to Hat Trick City Radio on 91.7 WXCI, Danbury.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Hat Trick City. This week, we're welcoming back two very special guests into the studio. Well, maybe one special guest, I'd say. We got Kyle Gonzalez and soon-to-be dad, Jonny Ruiz.
Soon-to-be dad.
Hey,
Boys, how we doing?
Doing good.
Yeah, doing great. Johnny hasn't been here in a while.
I know. It's been like, what, a year and change probably?
Probably. That was a good episode, though.
That was a very good episode.
Yeah, that was a fun episode.
Even though it took Herm coming on for him to come on, but,
No,
still a good episode.
It wasn't just Herm. You guys finally asked me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You and Herm are best friends.
So what's the latest, guys? Like, what's the, it's usually Pat and I, we sneak down and we see a practice once in a while. I've only seen like one. What's the vibe around the locker room in this early part of the season, just from your guys' perspective?
Right now it's good. We kind of struggled with the games to start with, just learning aspects right now for us. So back in the win column, which was good from Saturday night, and everyone's good. We're upbeat. We're working hard. We're pushing each other. Compete levels there. So we're in the right direction now.
Yeah. The boys are definitely excited, and the boys are definitely understanding the wins and losses that come throughout the season are part of the process. So we're just kind of taking it day by day.
I wanted to ask you guys something. Now that you've been in the Fed for a while, Johnny, you both have. Well, except Kyle, you didn't play that one season when Dave was the coach. You weren't here, right? But you guys have been pretty much on every season. Why do you think it is that, like, at the first couple of months of the season, I guess, just because of the way it works out, why are there those growing pains?
Well, you got a lot of new faces that come in. They're coming from usually college hockey or juniors, so they're not used to the pro level yet. The ins and outs on how it all works and the process. So, it takes them to get their feet wet and start noticing and realizing how it all works, and pretty much go from there.
Yeah, no, just like the adjusting part of it as well, just kind of like what Johnny said. It's like it's a different game, whether if it's whatever aspect you want to look at it. It's a different game than college. It's a different game than juniors, and it takes a little time to get used to, and like I said, it's just kind of part of the process.
Talking about the new faces for a minute, just like who do you guys feel has been like the best addition so far, just in terms of kind of both on and off the ice, just like who's really fitting well to what you guys are trying to do?
There's definitely a handful of guys. It's definitely hard to put your finger on one. Coach and everyone does a great job of finding good players on the ice and finding good character guys off the ice. So it's hard to put your finger on one, but or a few. But if you had to, a rookie, Stojic still around. He's kind of showing signs of kind of becoming a really good hockey player. McCollum MC, he's a great kid. He's always a kid yelling in the net. If he stops you or something, he's always got character to him. And got anyone else?
No, those are the two that really stick out to me. They're just great locker room guys. Fun to be around off the ice for sure.
Yeah.
And then they push you on the ice. Being younger and rookies, so to say, they're carrying themselves well right now. So it's fun to see. And some other guys are starting to come out of their shell. Like Zinchenko, had a great game the other day, and I heard him speak for the first time in practice.
Yeah, he's got a voice.
Crap, he has a voice, and he's actually really, really funny once you get talking to him one-on-one. So.
Speaking up, yeah, good. It's so fun to get there. We talked a little about this when we had Xavier on, and obviously you guys are a core part of the team. But we were just wondering, the championship comes around, and there are so many leagues and so many teams around the world. Probably always looking for leadership and always more interested in imports that have just won the championship, or higher leagues that are looking for guys that just. Did you guys get any? It's not like anything specific we're looking for, but did offers come your guys' way after the championship or anything?
Not really. I mean, we're kind of old dogs now. So we've been around the block. We've played at different levels. So I don't know. I think we're pretty much Danbury hockey players now, and it's not really changing it for me. I want to finish my career here.
Yeah, definitely. Like Johnny said, we're kind of just where we're at in our career. We definitely it's a little bit less of a stressful. My first less summer that wasn't full of stress, just because I kind of knew where I was going to get a chance to play again and this and that. There were talks, or I did still have an agent over the summer. There were talks of I could possibly get camped somewhere, but like Jonny said, immediately, just kind of told them I'm happy with where I'm at, happy in Danbury and happy with my role, and I called it home, and this is home. So yeah, nothing came of it.
Yeah, and kind of what did you guys kind of do over the summer? I know it's been a busy one for especially Jonny. I don't know if you want to start that one off.
Well,
No, I
made a baby.
He got
I got
real
busy
busy.
pretty right away. Yeah, that was the Commissioner Cup baby for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Celebrating. I didn't score at all during the finals, but I was snuggling past the goalie. So no,
funny.
they did a
In
lot.
overtime.
Yeah, it was definitely overtime, that's for sure. But no, we just enjoyed the championship for the first part. Left right away to play ball hockey at a ball hockey tournament in Pittsburgh. So Gordy and I and Nosey, actually, we went out there,
Wow.
played in that, had some fun, came back here, hung out with the boys a little bit more, and then decided to go home and traveled to Czech Republic. I coached the U20 USA ball hockey team. So
Oh, yeah.
did that. That was a fun experience. It was my first experience coaching at that level, so that was kind of cool. And then the rest of the summer, just ball hockey and a couple family vacations, a couple weddings on the way, and now we're back here getting ready back for the grind, right?
Yeah, for me, it was a little bit different. I didn't get to go overseas or anything like that. I stayed in Danbury this summer. My fiance and I, we ended up making a huge move towards the end of the summer in September. We ended up signing a real lease and for an apartment for 16 months. So we're residents, we have a mailing address and everything here. Other than that, there's a few guys that stuck around, Kuzi and X. We kind of made sure to just kind of find some ice when we could, and kind of worked out when we could as much as we could. And it was cool to have a little group like that. It was the first time I'd ever, had a group of guys that, I can meet up with over summer and skate and work out with, versus at home it's maybe, just one guy. But here I had a little group, which was cool. So it was a good summer overall, for sure.
Yeah, and speaking of that group, I know X was talking about at the Breakfast Club. I mean, how did that come up to be?
Yeah, no, it was like I said, we just had good opportunity here. The rink was nice enough to let us use the ice early every day of the week, but super early in the morning, and it just kind of got called the Breakfast Club because we'd kind of get there early in the morning, do our thing, work out, and then get some food after. So just kind of became a little club we just kind of held ourselves to every day. So it was cool. Yeah, it was a good time.
Something I've been curious to ask you guys is, and we asked X about it, it's how are you guys feeling about the schedule now? This travel, and you're not playing the backs-to-backs you guys did, and it seems like there's a game, there's a bus ride game a little more often. How's that impacting you guys?
I hate it. It's just my thing. Just make it 2 home games against, and then go away for 2. But it takes a lot on your body.
Yeah.
The mental part of it's kind of tough too. Whether you're, we've been walking away with some losses on the road, so that was kind of tough. That whole bus ride, you're rewatching the game, you're overthinking things and trying to, not panic, but you're just trying to figure out what are we doing that we need to get back on the right page. So for me, it's been kind of a mental grind, and our bodies are getting older, so it's been a little tough on the body too. But it is what it is. A lot of teams have that too, so it's not just us.
Yeah, it's a good. Yeah, it's definitely tough, but it's a good experience. It's part of playing, traveling from town to town, and having to play one team and then gear up or pack up and then play another team the next night. It's a cool experience, but a little tough for sure.
And just to be clear, I guess, for the fans here, are you guys going up the night before still to get that early morning skate in, or is it really just game day?
It kind of depends. When we go to Watertown, we leave the night before, but when we left for Elmira on Saturday, we left at 12 for a 6 o'clock game. So it just kind of really depends. I think Coach has a method to his madness, so we just kind of show up when we're told to and load up and go where we're told to go and just make the most of it, for sure.
The extra night's definitely huge for us. Just to get the bus legs out, and then you wake up, you get your breakfast in together, and then we hit the ice and get a nice little skate in. It's so much better, and it's more, I feel like it's more beneficial for your body.
Yeah. spend some time with the boys too on the road and stuff. It's cool.
We have been pretty deep with you guys. What about the time, fellas, that we came back and the bus was the bus across the highway was on fire or whatever it was? An 18-wheeler was on fire. You remember that?
Where were we coming home from?
Binghamton.
It was a Binghamton game.
Man.
You remember
That wasn't a playoff game, was it?
No, it was a regular season game.
That's crazy.
We were going to Watertown.
You, I think, were with Megan.
Oh,
I don't
God.
think you were on the bus.
On the radio, you're going to say that?
Cause
Just kidding. No, I was on the bus, ladies and
no, you
gentlemen.
were. I don't remember where
I was
everybody
not on the bus.
I
Yeah,
don't remember
last year.
everybody
No,
was.
yeah,
It was
last year
crazy.
Megan was making trips up every weekend with for his Watertown.
Yeah.
Or she'd always come up and coach, and the boys were nice enough to let me ride home with her, so she wasn't solo. So, yeah.
No, but you always see crazy stuff on the road.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
The other day,
Listen to this one.
We were going to Watertown. I think we were just past Syracuse.
I have
We
no
were driving,
idea.
And you see the guardrail, you see a bunch of people on the side of the road, and the car was flipped up, smoking in the trees. Guardrail was bent, and then there was someone giving CPR to another
Yeah.
person.
Wow.
It was
Yeah,
just
definitely see
split second.
someone like pumping like down. And,
it kind of put your stomach in knots. But
Oh,
it's
believe
just
me,
crazy,
yeah.
man. Some of the stuff you see when you're traveling far and whatnot.
it's crazy.
It's a crazy image, that's a crazy image. That 18-wheeler on fire, that was like something to see because we were all half asleep.
Yeah.
And it's just like this glowing thing, you know what I mean, on
Yeah.
the highway. Oh, man.
Yeah, there's some pretty wicked stuff that happens on the road sometimes, whether if it's seeing stuff or
These stories are
going
fantastic.
going too fast,
Or bus breaking
or,
down, like-
or going too fast.
Were you-
or-
The
Were you
floor
hurt?
pops up.
Were you hurt when were you hurt and not with us when Pete had to keep the bus running all night?
I'm hurt all the time, so who knows?
Wasn't that Elmira?
we were coming.
I think that
home-
was
Where's the
Watertown,
place? Where's the place with the B-dubs? Watertown.
Yeah, I remember seeing
Yeah.
your stories about it.
And I was just like, this is crazy.
Was that because he had like driven with like the emergency brakes on, so the bus started smoking, and then we had to pull over and like let the brakes cool off and
Yeah.
everything? Yeah, Amesy wakes up and then he's like, "Boys, do you guys
Smell that?
smell that?" And it smelled just like rubber, just burn. And PD turns on the lights. You can't even see the front of the bus from the back because it was too smoky, so we had to pull over and.
When I first came, in 2014. I did the story for Penthouse about the Danbury Whalers, and the Dayton team. They literally came here in the bus from Slapshot. I mean, that thing was just ancient. Like
That's
it was like
hilarious.
chrome and red, and it had Kentucky plates on it, and it was just
That's
so
awesome.
random.
That's awesome.
Oh, it was great. When you guys were in the SPHL, like, what are the buses real nice or?
I mean, the one I was in was a sleeper, so like almost everyone had their own bunk and stuff. It was pretty cool, and I pretty much got in the back of the bus, and they were like, "All right, you're sleeping here." I'm like, "All right, I'll slept the whole way," which was great.
Yeah. Roanoke, they had a very interesting setup. It's like, I don't even know how to explain it, but there was basically just kind of like 3 different levels, and each person kind of had a bunk. I was on like the bottom floor that was just below like the second tier, but I shit you not, the top of the bed was just past my nose. So you're sleeping in coffin mode all night. The one in Birmingham was a little bit more comfortable for me. It was kind of like just picture like an airplane. You know how like the luggage things pop out there? That would just come out a little bit further to like 90 degrees, and this would be like a bed. So like there'd be like maybe 4 rows of like beds on each side plus like a second row. I mean, yeah, the buses are a little bit nicer, but I think the trips and I think the travel's a little bit more intense too. So, I mean, in a charter, it'd be pretty intense.
When you guys were playing in D3 college, where there's probably a little bigger budget, not a great budget, but a bigger budget than probably like club hockey or stuff like that, how did you guys travel, and did you stay overnight any place, or was it just back and forth all the time?
So I played in it was the ECAC Northeast my freshman year, and we traveled to like SUNY Potsdam and
Wow.
SUNY Canton. So that was like the one. Every year they had at least one trip where they'd go on the road and stay, but normally all the other schools are within 2-3 hours apart. So
who did you guys play? Like, did you play Fitchburg and that whole
my
Mascac?
first one, I played Mascac when I transferred. So
Okay.
I played Fitchburg, Salem, Westfield, Framingham, and Plymouth.
Yeah, yeah.
And Plymouth. Those were the schools I played. ECAC Northeast, it was like Nichols, Suffolk, Wentworth, Curry, schools like that. You were out west, right?
Yeah, I was in Wisconsin. I was in the NCHA. So for me, we had like Adrian. We had we were Northland. We had gosh, who else am I missing? Adrian. We had Norberts. We had.
What was that one school that we talked about that, remember I told you, and the first time you came on, they had like an Unsolved Mysteries episode there. It's
Stevens Point?
No, it's in your conference. Is it a Catholic school?
Oh, man. Catholic school in my conference? No, I don't know.
Is Wisconsin, like, student athletes, something happened, girl disappeared.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
I don't
we
remember
talked
that
about
one.
it on the first episode when you
that
came
one.
on about the Unsolved Mysteries episode. But is it St. Mary's?
St. Thomas.
Okay, there's St. Mary's in Minnesota. St. Thomas, they're D1.
They're D1 now. They were D3 when we were in school.
I don't remember. But, yeah, for me, like, in college, the travel was we'd usually play the same team Friday, Saturday. So if we were out and about somewhere in Wisconsin or whatever, we'd play them Friday night, stay, and then play the same team Saturday night. So that was nice. We had Lake Forest University in our division.
St. John's University.
St. John's, the Johnnies, they're
Minnesota. So it was in like an Unsolved Mysteries episode.
Wow, that's crazy.
Like some dude disappeared from
Didn't Stevens Point? Isn't that where? What's that guy he was on Netflix?
Which one? There's a lot of guys.
There was two parts to this
several
guy.
Guys on Netflix.
Oh my God, there's several guys on Netflix. I'll
some from right here in Danbury. There's a few Danbury guys on Netflix.
On the Netflix, the Haunting, the Devil on Trial. Have you guys seen that?
Oh yes, I've
happened
seen it.
right in like.
Yeah, right here in Brookfield.
That's
right?
crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Danielle knew some of the people involved. It's really that's really interesting. But what was it like? It's just speaking of the travel, like in that conference. I mean, the winters must have been brutal. You guys ever get stuck on the road and stuff? Or?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
New England not as
Luckily,
bad.
no, I didn't have any in college. I only got stuck when I came here, honestly.
We haven't actually had terrible winters in this area in a long time. The metropolitan area. I mean, maybe like one bad snowstorm in the last 5 years.
Making a Murder. Have you seen
Yes.
that? Making a Murder.
Like
that
the first one.
Yeah, that happened in Stevens Point. I'm pretty sure. Or like this guy was like accused for murder or something, but the kid who was like testifying with him or against him was like a little off. So what he was saying like didn't really have like they weren't saying was like valid or usable or whatever, and it went down this whole rabbit hole. It's pretty crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Pretty good watch too. Check it out.
Yeah, there's a bunch. There's a bunch of Danbury
Sponsor
references on the Kyle Gonzalez is
Making a
courtesy of
Murder
Netflix.
Sponsor.
He's
Make sure
here.
you use my code
Sponsor
on
me.
He's yeah.
Signable code
That's
Gonzo.
fine.
Gonzo7.
Gonzo7.
10% off.
Yeah, that'd be wicked.
What are you guys watching right now? Who watches the most NHL out of you two? Do you watch a lot, Johnny?
I honestly don't. No, I think Gonzo, you probably watch more than me.
You
I like watching hockey.
You like the Duck? Do you go out of your way to watch the Ducks? Or you watch?
I try to when I can, but East Coast, they're usually at 10 o'clock, and it's just
tough. Yeah,
worst
yeah.
case, you get a period, but by the end of the
Yeah.
first, your eyes are too heavy. You're just going to bed, falling asleep. So, but yeah, I love watching. Like any kind of hockey, especially when like the Leafs are on, or like the Oilers, or any kind of team that's got an explosive player. I like watching. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Even through the Oilers' tough times, you still watch them?
Through the Oilers' tough, yeah. I mean,
I'm saying like right now.
I have Draisaitl on my fantasy team, so it's kind of tough, but I try and keep up.
So you guys you're doing fantasy?
We are doing fantasy. There are a few of us that started a fantasy league when we first got here. So some guys that are in the league right now are no longer on the team, which is kind of interesting. But I mean, we still talk through the league, and that's just kind of like goes to show like what kind of family hockey creates. Like even though we only knew each other for like 2 weeks, started a fantasy league and they're gone, but we still talk as if it's like we're kind of still on the same team.
I mean, I did one last year, but I think like after December, I just completely forgot about it and just.
That's what I always forget to change my lineup every day.
Yeah, he got the invite, but he was saying
I just come up with the cool names, but other than that, I can't really.
Yeah,
stay with it.
Sick name and then same lineup.
I guess are you guys about the same age?
Yeah, I think I'm a little older.
I'm in March.
Did you guys
February,
finish college the same year?
Somewhat finished, but yeah.
Well, I mean,
yes.
Not finished.
2019, yeah.
Finished going.
Yeah.
yeah.
Graduated in 19.
We came in here our rookie year together.
What do you guys think of, just in your, because, I've actually, watched from so long as a fan, but you guys that have actually participated and seen now so many, you guys have probably collectively seen 100 guys come wear this jersey in 5 years, right? What do you guys who, compete at such a high level consistently in the league, what do you guys think of the competition and the guys coming in the league and the players and the skill? Like, what do you think of it as a whole right now from where you started here in 19?
I mean, I love it. I mean, it's like a challenge every day. When it's on your team, you got different guys flowing in and out, so that compete level rises. Everyone's job's on the line, so no matter who you are, if you're Gonzo, Ruiz, or whoever, your job's on the line, so you got to go back to work. And then the league, I feel like from that first year, it's getting a lot quicker.
I think so too. Yeah, I think the league, even guys that come in, they outward and upward, they admit, it's like the Fed is not what people think it is anymore. It's like there's some good players that are in this league, whether if it's just trying to build a resume or whether if they're just kind of, this is where they want to play. I mean, like the Fed is no longer like a fight, grinder. I mean, there are still those guys there, and there are diamonds in the rough like Amesy, but I mean, it's like definitely very skilled. And even from when we came in 19, I thought that was good hockey then, but I think it's just getting better. I don't know if we're slowing down or what's going on, but
I think I'm definitely slowing
I don't
down,
know what's going on out there, but there are some kids in the league, that you definitely
I wonder how many
keep your eye
professional
out.
games between these two now. Probably a couple hundred, right?
Definitely a couple
Not too
hundred.
crazy.
Maybe 250. You have got to have 100 games now.
I definitely might have 100 games
Combined?
total. Let's see if you look up Jonny, I'll look up myself.
All right, perfect.
Should be in your favorites.
It should be it's my bookmark.
Oh,
here.
there we go. Yeah, top one. Exactly. Just change that picture.
Mine? Is it good? What is it?
That's a good one.
I don't even know who did that. I'm not a premium person, so I don't
Premium
know.
guy. Someone probably
Yeah.
added it for you.
Yeah, some people
hell
some people who used to play for this team, they always change their photo on there.
Let's see. Jeez, that took forever to load. Shout out T-Mobile.
Sponsor me.
Also sponsor me, T-Mobile.
Yeah, please.
Save 5% off your bill.
Yeah.
In the Fed, you have 175 games played, Johnny.
And
Wow.
then I got just 3 SP games. That was fun.
Yeah.
And then in the Fed, I have 96 games played.
Oh shit.
Is that with playoffs or just?
No, it doesn't
That's
count
just
playoffs.
it doesn't count playoffs.
96 played in the
snap.
Fed, and
So-
75 in the SP.
But you probably have we have way over 100 games
Yeah.
technically with the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh wait, so hold on.
But
so it'll be your
96.
96 right now with the Fed.
Yeah.
So you're 4
So-
games away from
So
100.
literally the next home game will be your 100th.
Really?
That's amazing. We got to
Wow.
make sure somebody
That's
knows
okay.
that.
We'll make sure
Thanks
that
to
gets
Hat
through.
Trick City for pointing this
I know,
out. I'm
literally,
sure there were a
guys.
couple of people.
Yeah.
We had a lot of ring ceremonies and this year. I hope we have a ceremony for this.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
this is gonna be a
100
big
games
one.
is
That'd
nothing.
be great.
Compared to the guys that are up at the arena there. 100 games is nothing. Let's just shout out to the old body for hanging in there.
You telling
It's
me,
hard, man. It's hard.
I have. I should show my phone. Probably die in a second, but I should show you guys that
Get you a charger.
my cousin is like a sick. I showed X. My cousin is like a sick Bruins fan. Look what he did to his basement. He wired his basement so that whenever the Bruins score, this light goes.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
That's wild.
and he doesn't have to do anything.
That's
They
wicked.
Does
score
it?
the goal, and it goes like it's.
Wow.
Yeah, it's done.
How does it know?
I guess there's
How does it know?
probably knows from your phone or something
Okay.
like that.
All right.
like
Tapped
an
into,
update.
tapped into his house.
But he's
or
got like the
whatever.
hockey boards, and I
Yeah,
was,
that's sick.
and yeah, but he's like one of these guys. I was trying to tell him it's not always the in the Fed, it's not always like the tape to tape passing and all that makes the game exciting. It's the energy and the passion that you guys play with, and on that intimate level when there's only like 2,000 people in the room, it's really something like special to watch. Have you guys do you guys have I don't know how often you get to go to an NHL game, but do you guys kind of have a weird view of how the mainstream sports are kind of a little there still is that big divide between the players and the fans, and that's not just in the rink, it's in the world, but
Yeah.
are you guys kind of do you guys ever feel weird in the NHL atmosphere when you're watching, like, no one's standing, no one's cursing, no one's standing behind the glass, like, pretending to pour beer on the other coach, you know?
I mean, there's always fans out there like that, but that's the biggest stage. There's a lot of eyes watching, so maybe it's not a nitty-gritty, tight community like we have here and other Fed teams, but, like, I mean, I always enjoyed going to a game no matter what. It's hockey, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that it's bad, just almost that, like, the difference in atmosphere. Like, I haven't been to an NHL game in a while, and I admit the last one I went to was a preseason game between the Rangers and the Devils. But still, like, to me, there wasn't even a fight. Like, it's like the preseason, guys used to fight, guys used to try
Still trying to make the team.
Yeah, you know, and it just kind of seems like a little – it almost seems like the NHL has that college hockey atmosphere to a degree where it's, there's no fighting, there's the bubbles on guys, and there's no, I don't know. I just think that you guys are really a part of something that's so unique.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, especially in the States. Like,
Yeah.
I had my buddy from Canada who plays beer league with me at the November 4th game. And he's like, "Hey, bud, this is like back," like he's from Thunder Bay. He's like, "This is like back home, senior hockey." Like, it was just like the vibe is like so on. I just wondered if you guys, if you go to an NHL game, do you feel like the vibe is off? You're like,
yeah, it definitely doesn't feel as like electric or like as personal as you're talking about for sure. I don't know if it's because the arena's so big or if like there's actually security at the games or whatnot, but yeah, you're not going to catch anyone pouring beers over the glasses there.
I think that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it definitely, maybe the TV ratings will go up. Who knows? But yeah, there's definitely just it's just a different stage. Like Johnny said, it's kind of just the main stage, so everyone, I feel like, just behaves. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe the Canadian environment's completely different. I've never been to like a Toronto game or a Montreal game or anything like that.
I'd really like to go.
Yeah. You would think a Rangers game is pretty riot, like gritty, no?
I got to see it.
It's a really corporate crowd.
A Philly game would probably be nuts.
Man, like Philly has that whole sports complex down there.
It's
so
amazing.
It's so much, like, there's a big bar, the Xfinity Live.
Oh, yeah.
That place was
probably
amazing.
sweet.
Sponsor me as well.
You
ever go hang out in there,
sponsors.
Jonny?
Yeah, I've watched a couple games in there. Sometimes it's too cold to go to like an Eagles game, or it's late in
no
October
way.
for a Phillies game, and I'll just go to the bar, and there's a casino now right there. But there's huge parking lots, so everyone's tailgating. Like for Eagles games, people get there at like 9 a.m. They're just drinking the whole time, barbecuing and everything. It's crazy.
Last fall in 2022, we did some beer league stuff there with some guys that I know went right after we went into that Xfinity because the Eagles were playing. Let me tell you something, man. That was one of the sickest environments I was in for sports, where it was like a watch party. It was just like 500 people showed up to this, probably more than that, probably like 1,000 people.
You can hold a lot of people.
Yeah, man, and it's one of the most unique. I don't know if you guys know what we're talking about. This Xfinity Live in the parking lot of the.
It's where the old Spectrum used to be.
Right. Yeah. Huh. In the parking lot of I guess it's the Wells Fargo Center, and what's the other one?
Lincoln Financial Field, Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah,
it's just right in the middle. There's 5 bars connected in this one huge bar.
Wow.
And that one huge bar has like it has different food stations too. So it's like there's like a pizza, there's a cheesesteak,
yeah.
There's like I think even like Chinese food or something.
Yeah, there's a nice
in there.
restaurant in there too, but they have all the other bars have.
I think it has sports gambling right there too. Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah, we'd never have anything like that in New York. There's like just too much real estate wars over where that would be. If you really think about it, that should have been the setup for where the Mets are in Flushing Meadow Park. I mean, like, it's been a land that's been conserved for a long time. They've tried to keep it apart, but now they're going to build a soccer stadium there. That should have been
Is that what they're doing? I saw that because the parking lots it's just huge parking lots all around, nothing else going on.
Well, no, they dumped all those auto body to put, like, that auto body area that they used to have right next to Citi Field. They dumped that. That was a 20-year legal battle between, I mean, forget it. Everything came out in that legal war, minorities versus the city and all this arguing about who was going to use the land. But now that's going to be NYCFC Stadium over there. Just goes to show.
Where do they play right now?
They play at Yankee Stadium.
Yankee Stadium and Citi Field, they switch off.
And
Depends on scheduling.
Okay.
And the Red Bulls have their own thing.
Yeah, that's over near New York.
Yeah,
right? Near
you take the
Prudential
train
Center.
right there. That's a great place to go.
We flew over it a couple of times going to games. It's cool to look down and see all that stuff.
Oh yeah, that's a great venue. They one thing about that place, they never let them do. I don't know if they I think they were talking about letting them do XFL in there, and then they were like, no way. I think they did some rugby in there or something stupid like that, but they've never let them do like an outdoor classic on there or anything.
That'd be
like
cool.
that.
I wish the Fed did an outdoor classic.
We could do it at Westside Stadium here at Western Connecticut University.
Yeah.
I've had the plan for a few years. I've got the right. I don't have it, but I know where it is.
Even if it was just like organization by organization, if they could figure out a way to have a game outdoors, I think that would be so sick.
Well, like think about
MetLife, right? They're doing it this year. MetLife with the Flyers, Devils, and then two other.
I'm going.
Are you going?
Flyers,
On the
Devils.
Sunday game?
Yeah.
Is it
Rangers Islanders?
Rangers, Islanders, and
And then
Devils and Flyers?
Devils
Yeah.
Flyers.
So
is the
there's
day
multiple Winter Classic games now?
No,
Well, no,
this is
it's
Stadium
Stadium
Series.
Series.
You remember Anaheim
Yeah,
did
yeah,
the
yeah.
Stadium Series?
Anaheim and the Kings at Dodger Stadium in California.
Yeah,
Yeah.
How's that possible?
that was crazy. And then a few years ago, because I'm related to Cogliano from the Ducks. A few
That's
years
what you were
ago,
saying.
Dallas played. Was that what's the football stadium in Dallas? Is that the
There's a bunch of
Cotton
them, man.
Bowl?
Come on.
What's the big one out
Rose?
there?
No, Rose.
Oh,
No,
no, Rose Bowl.
Cotton
That's
Bowl.
the team.
That's the
Cotton
team.
Bowl.
Cotton Bowl.
Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, that was the Dallas Stars. That was
Wow.
the outdoor. It was who was that they played against?
I'm gonna find
Chicago.
out. Probably. I'll find
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Who's
that
the
was-
Winter
Chicago's
Classic
fun.
this year?
I have no idea.
What's up?
Who's the Winter Classic?
Vegas and Seattle. They're going to play at T-Mobile Park in Seattle.
Oh, that'd be
Ew.
good.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
That'll be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Probably get demolished.
How do you guys feel about that Kraken logo? It just still hasn't grown on me yet.
It just every time they add a team, like the name, it's not.
You don't like Golden Knights?
I love the Golden Knights. I like it, but at first you just hear it and you're like, what?
It's a little
just doesn't make
clunky.
any sense. But then, like, yet I think when the Whalers moved to Carolina, like, it all makes sense. So
Right.
we just didn't witness it like firsthand, really. When we're older and can realize.
Played
that
against the
stuff.
Predators.
Predators.
That Dallas game.
Dallas.
But I mean,
20
how sick
2020
would it
Winter
be?
Classic.
How sick would it be? And again, it all comes down to marketing, who can sell it. But how sick would it be if we played against Binghamton at Westside Stadium, where you could fit about the same number of people as we could at Danbury Arena outdoors, 2 games, Friday and Saturday.
Oh.
And then the next weekend we got to get, you know what, we got to get our friend Gary Ryan, who loves Hat Trick City, to start a little bit of a movement up there, because then we could play them in Binghamton at the baseball stadium where
Oh, the Rumble
me
ponies.
and you and Billy and Nosy
I don't know.
and
Is
Bodie
that big
went.
enough for that?
Yeah.
The field?
Yeah, it would
I
be.
think they fit
They could fit it
3,400
on a-
people.
yeah.
Well,
they
not
could fit it on
people wise.
MLB
I'm saying to fit a rink.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That was
they
a
could
small
fit it.
field.
It's a normal sized baseball field. They don't change the dimensions.
No, I know, but I'm just saying.
Did you
like,
guys ever play any formal games with a ref outside, like in your? Yeah, I mean, like
Street hockey, yeah.
Yeah.
All the time. We grew up playing
yeah,
outside. What do you
floor
mean?
hockey, right? Yeah.
Not floor hockey, ball hockey, street hockey. Get it
No.
right. Come on. Come on.
I have played an outdoor game. Not like legit, like with the scoreboard or anything, but it was like.
They have boards?
Yeah, my junior team, we did like a scrimmage outdoors, and the coach was a ref. That's the closest I've gotten to an outdoor game. It was in Minnesota.
Just pond hockey for me,
That's
honestly.
cool.
Like it would probably be so much fun for this league if we could do it. Especially,
know.
it's got to
Yeah.
be 2 games. It's got to be Friday and Saturday.
Like realistically, it'd have to be like Bridgeport who would do it, and then we would like schedule a game on their ice at some point.
Yeah, they don't have that baseball field no more. They used
I
to.
don't know. I mean, but think
I
about it. But really, I mean, what if we just
Getting ice out with the boards and all that
Think
has
about-
to be so much
That's-
money
that's a
for
lot.
Herm.
That
Oh
is
my
a lot.
god.
It's not gonna happen.
Oh my.
Hey, I wouldn't worry about it. You know what I mean? No, but I mean, well, the thing is, it takes it. The problem really is it first conflict of interest, right, would be that it takes it off the team property, right? It moves
Sure.
it to a kind of a neutral venue where
Yeah.
they'd have to think about concessions and all this other stuff. How would they make money? But I mean, that said, what if you just put the rink for 2 or 3 weeks on the football field of the west side and just rent it out like you normally would?
Yeah.
You know, rent it out to schools, rent it out to beer league,
Public skating for the students would be probably cool.
I was going to
Outdoors.
say, and
high school.
even if like the club team did a game.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
100%.
would-
Everybody, you'd have to get every high school in this area that has a team
Yeah.
on there. You'd have to get the junior hat tricks on there.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody would have to play. That's actually been, I don't know if I told you, I think I might have told you this once, guys, that I had a meeting a few years ago with the Rockland County baseball team. They have a pro baseball, a beautiful stadium in the middle of Rockland County. Beautiful thing. I had this meeting maybe 3 years ago, and they told me that they've had a rink where they've played college games with St. Thomas Aquinas College. There was, I think, Manhattanville also played a game. but they haven't used the rink since 2018. So it's just been
sits there.
Just sits at the Rock. So I mean, how much could they really want for it at this point? Unless they might be looking to get rid of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like one of those things.
What's it called?
Well, they're the Rockland County Boulders.
Rockland County Boulders.
Yeah, and they have
I'd love to see a picture of that
beautiful stadium.
Yeah,
like
that's cool.
as nice as even an affiliated team. I'll be honest with you. You know, they're not affiliated team, but they have a stadium that's as nice as a, you know, any of those Cali A-ball teams, Visalia or whatever, Rancho Cucamonga, all of them, Chico.
Oh, that's a nice park.
Yeah, and if you like it, I don't even think the venue is the thing.
That'd be wicked.
Like, it would be great, but we could just do it here at Westside and get tons of people.
I know West Side would be the ideal location for that.
We could bring that rink here in a U-Haul. Easy.
Really?
With volunteers from the Booster Club putting it on the truck. So TK, Peach Wave of Bethel. Let's get a fund going. Danbury Outdoor Hockey Fund. Let's go.
I was going to say, and Billy has experience in that, so he'd know how to coach you guys through it. Outdoor games?
Yeah.
We used to play for Williamsport.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. These guys were in probably junior high school when he played in that game. But, the Williamsport team, the team that Billy won the championship with, they started in Jersey. And then the very next season, they moved to Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and they played their whole season outside until February when they folded.
What?
Yeah, they played.
The Outlaws team moved there?
Really? They played their whole season on a minor league baseball field with like this.
No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Weird little rink.
Did you guys see that little snippet of like that documentary they did on his team? He put it on.
Oh my God.
Jersey Ice.
The Jersey Ice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He put everyone onto that. Like the retelling of that, like that coming back up to the surface. That was
really amazing.
I gotta get a couple good screenshots of Coach.
Oh yeah.
But I like
where he has his tongue out and
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
It definitely seems.
or
like,
him in the meadow with his shirt unbuttoned. I've screenshotted that and made it my story.
Oh yeah,
a couple
like
times.
that because I think that was from his Playgirl shoot or whatever it was. That was really
seemed like good time.
That was really a funny time in the Fed. The big guy in the video with his shirt off is literally one of the craziest guys I ever met. Neil Pasilico, and he played in the Q and the OHL, and he played in the ECHL and the UHL back in the day, and so around 2011 or whatever that was, I tried to make a documentary about Neil, and we shot all this stuff, and we hung out. He's a great guy, you know, but he just had these demons and different things. So like we had this scheduled shoot in New Jersey at in North Jersey. It's a small training rink in
Where the Hitmen play, where they played?
Elmwood. No. Is it Elmwood Park, New Jersey? What the fuck is the name? Skating Edge Ice Academy.
Okay.
It's like literally a mini rink in every way. There's like
Sounds made up.
Yeah, I think you just made that.
No, look it up.
I'm just
Skating
kidding,
Edge,
Maddie.
Cutting
Yeah,
Edge.
I'm just kidding, Maddie.
Cutting Edge Skating Academy, something like that.
Cutting Edge, that's a movie about figure skaters.
Right, yeah. DB Sweeney was in the one, yeah.
So what's the name of this place you made up?
Cutting Edge Skating Academy.
Skating Edge undercuts, something
Exactly.
like that. You couldn't even remember.
Cost
what
cut.
it
Biz. But anyway,
I already forgot Cutting Edge Skating Academy.
Cross
Cutting Edge,
grind, something
yes,
or another.
cross cutter.
God.
Anyway,
Sliced deli meat at Jersey Mike's.
so we get all this stuff together. I get like all
Oh
these-
my God, that's like the.
Is that it?
That's it. Cutting Edge Ice Academy.
Right, and we were gonna shoot all these like dramatic scenes, like him in the penalty box. Like I had these two guys that were gonna play refs, like grabbing him and all this crazy shit. I had all the wardrobe.
Wow.
I had a bunch of guys that were gonna be extras in this. Like so like it's like the Friday night before we're gonna shoot on a Sunday, right? And I just can't get a hold of the guy, and he sends me a text message. And he's like, "Hey, check your voicemail." So, like, I didn't notice that he sent me a voicemail because I kept calling him because he said he left me a voice. He said, "It's like, hey, pal, listen, can we postpone everything?" He says, "I went out to Texas to see my ex-wife."
What?
You know, like the guy just ran, like he knew he had to like be like at the shoot on Sunday, and he just gave up on me. But that Steel Neil, he was like a lot of people heard of him too. He was like a Long Island legend, and that guy. he actually played in the preseason after the lockout with the Rangers, and he got in 5 fights in 2 games.
No way.
Wow.
Yeah, he was just an absolute animal. And story goes, I mean, Neil knows he's my buddy, so Neil accidentally punched the owner of the Jersey team in the face in the bar, and Billy had to cut this maniac from the team.
No way.
Yeah, Billy had to tell him that he had to pack his shit.
No way. That's crazy.
The guy was like an
crazy.
absolute nut job. Billy's got to tell the guy. I think the guy ripped the hinges off the door on his way out or something like that.
That
That's
Jersey
crazy.
Ice thing, I wonder who has the footage, because there's obviously footage if they put something together.
Well, my
I
thinking
want to
is
see the whole thing.
There was
Has to be. It's
probably
somewhere.
like some episode shot and stuff. What I think happened, if I had to take a guess, and I'm not going to say any names, but whoever hired those people to do what they were doing, that Jersey Ice shot, I may be dead wrong. I have a feeling that they never got paid in full, at least. You know what I mean? Because that stuff disappeared from the like it was out.
Interesting.
And then all of it was gone, and then there was just like 1 or 2 things up. You know,
Interesting.
Do we know who the production people
it's
were?
probably on there. It might be connected to that page somehow. It was listen for what
I'd love to get the footage
for what it was.
just to see what else was out there.
Yeah.
The only problem was the team was new, so they had no history, no fans, and they actually had no seating in that rink. They had like
it's a small rink.
it's literally like 500 seats, maybe.
That's literally
If
why
that.
that's why that entire trailer was like in Danbury
yeah,
Arena.
all the footage from
Most
the
of the
trailer
footage
was in
against
Danbury.
it was against the Whalers in our arena.
Yeah.
Practices were at home, and then everything else went on the road. It was cool. That documentary was cool though, because like obviously you see our coach now, who
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
was a captain, one of the captains on the team, and then you see Jimmy Jensen too, who
yeah.
comes here and plays, and I love that guy.
Yeah, I
man.
wanted to bring
he
him
got
up,
here,
too.
and he was unbelievable when he was here. So it was cool to see him back in the day playing.
He got
And then we
hurt
get to play
early in that
alongside.
season, I think, and he
Yeah.
came back for the playoffs.
Broke his ankle or something.
Oh,
That
really?
I think I tell you guys all the time. I'll tell you again. That was really a special time in this league, dude.
I bet.
Listen, dude. I was a sick NHL fan growing up. I wasn't as good a skater as you guys and stuff like that, but I loved hockey. I watched as much as I could, and man, like I remember Pierre Dagenet when he played for the Canadiens, when he played for the New Jersey Devils, and I think he played for Florida for a little while. I mean, like, yeah, he wasn't like the first line guy, but when he was playing in the Fed, I've told you this guys 100 times. My clearest image of him is him standing in front of the net, 3 guys on him, 1 guy just chopping at his pants, and he's one-handing the puck into the net with these 3 guys. One hand on the stick, backhanding it into the net. Like, just, you guys fucking nuts. Like, you guys nuts, or you're going to play,
That's crazy.
really couldn't play with him. So maybe we should talk about the games this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay.
When are you guys heading out? I guess today's Tuesday, probably heading out.
We're going to Watertown on
Thursday,
Friday?
Yeah. Watertown Friday.
Then probably
Elmira Saturday.
Thursday.
Thursday we normally get on the road. We'll skate, have a good skate in, practice, do some system stuff, special teams and whatnot. But then we'll hit the road around noon or 1, stop halfway through, get a meal in, and then get ready for the game Friday.
Yeah.
But real quick, I want to flash back to last weekend. Got Mr. Game Winner over here.
Ooh.
How did that come
Oh, that
to
was
be?
a nice one.
Yeah.
I watched it last
Blind
night.
squirrel gets a nut, huh?
Yeah. That's kind of what I've been telling everyone who brings it up. Every once in a while I find one. But great play by Z to kind of hit a stretch man. And the stretch man just kind of bumped it to Tricky, who was coming through with speed. And, I don't know if it's, me jumping the gun or kind of being out of position. But it ended up working out to where I was kind of joining the rush on a 2-on-1. And I got behind the D-man. Tricky made a nice pass to me and kind of caught the goalie going lateral and was able to sneak one by, and we were able to come out with a win at the end there. It was a shootout. It wasn't in a shootout, but like the game itself was a shootout. We was like back and forth, 3-3, 4-3, 4-4, 5-4, 5-5. It was crazy. But the boys figured it out.
I got to be honest. It looked like they had a little more, it looked like a little more organization around the rink, and it looked like they had a few more fans there than they did the last couple times.
Yeah,
we
the
went.
River Sharks?
Yeah.
They were definitely a little bit more organized on the ice. And, as an organization, there's more fans there. I don't know if because, they've put a few wins together. Wins always bring people out of, the crevices and nooks of whatever town you're playing in. But, I don't know if, they've done different media stuff or whatever, but there's definitely more people there this past Saturday than usual.
Yeah, I mean, they brought some people back from the old Enforcers team, like the broadcaster,
Coaches,
obviously
right?
Coach.
Yeah, Jurich is one of the
who-
coach, and Patterson.
He played there, yeah.
He was their
Patterson
captain.
was the captain there the year we were actually there. I think that was his last year playing. Now he coaches their junior team, but he's been helping out with the pro team too, which is awesome to see, and has to be growing and getting a little better. I'm excited to play there again. I mean,
Something that we said when we spoke with X was that, we all have that perspective because we've been in the back of the house there. Like half of the building so far since like last year with the Mammoth, and now that I don't know this year, but half of that building was kind of like not in use, like some of the snack bars and the hallways outside of our locker room. So just looking at the place, if they could really get it going again,
it's a
That's
beautiful
a sick little
facility.
spot.
for this league, it's great.
It's perfect
Oh,
for
yeah.
this league. And
Oh yeah, single bowl.
Yeah.
Single bowl, they got the practice sheet on the backside. That's where that snack bar isn't really open ever. I mean,
Yeah,
when
no,
I
I've
played
never
there,
seen
it wasn't open.
I wonder
our
if it
first
was-
year it wasn't even open. You
No,
know what I mean?
huh?
Unless they had like youth games going on or like practices, but other than that, it's just the main concourse.
Because we
Yeah.
did see some Robbie Nichols, who owned the Elmira Enforcers, he's put some before and after of opening nights, and it looked like, if you had that many people, I thought that maybe that we're talking about a snack bar right now. But yeah, I mean, there's parts of the building that were probably, if you could ever get the attendance double or triple what it is now, yeah, I mean, there's things you can do to make it a nicer place.
100%.
That's a market. Like I said, we talk a lot about on the show. I don't know how often you guys listen, but we talk about how important it is that our opponents are healthy teams too.
Yeah.
They're not these Delaware situations where we're smacking them and they play in a rec rink. I mean, it's important for an Elmira team to be competitive for our success too. As I tell people that's what kills minor league sports when other teams cut corners. And the game doesn't look fun anymore.
Yeah.
It seems like a way more competitive season.
Definitely.
Yeah, so far I'm excited to play some of the other conference. I mean, I know we don't really play them too much. It's mainly our conference, but especially the newer teams, Baton Rouge or Wyattville. I'm excited to see. I think we go down to Virginia for a weekend, so I'm excited to see their atmosphere and what they have and that kind of city and fan base. Because obviously I love playing in front of Binghamton crowd. I mean, they hate us, and same with Carolina for that matter.
They hate us, yeah.
Yeah.
I know I just bring it up, but it's always funny. I didn't notice it last year, but since I play ball hockey and all people know about it, and I guess people behind our bench all made T-shirts that says Ruiz plays with balls.
Yeah, Ruiz plays with his balls.
Someone pointed that out, and I thought it was hilarious. So
That
I'm
was great.
If you have a fun fan base like that, because obviously you're always going to have haters, you're going to have stuff like that, people talking shit. But
As they should. They're
Yeah,
the other
yeah.
team.
I mean,
Exactly.
It means you're doing something right, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's always cool to see that. And man, I love being booed when I go to other places, or like you said, beer getting poured on you. At the time, you don't like it, but then you think back on it, it's pretty funny.
And
after a while.
I'll be honest, I really can't say that we had the best experiences with the Binghamton fans, but most of the Carolina fans,
It's that
Especially
southern nice.
nice, like the people who came
Yeah.
up into the garage, these were nice people. These weren't trouble starting people, you know what I mean? We did have trouble in Binghamton one night, but yeah, as far as as far as the Carolina fans, they've been great guys. But before we let you guys go, I just want to ask you one thing. If anything was clarified about the because I'm sure people are curious and nobody's really said anything. How's this conference switch going to work between? How does this actually work? They just going to play the same schedule and be in a different division?
Yeah. So the schedule stays the same, from what we understand. The schedule stays the same. The way the standings lay are just different now.
Different now. So that Motor City's in our
Right.
conference now.
Right.
Which I understand. It is what it is, but you can't control that stuff. So our focus isn't even worrying about any of that. And
No, I just wanted to clarify for the fans and the listeners, how this is. If you guys even knew how this
next
is
year, it's even changing again, right? You're getting Columbus in our division, I believe, or something like that.
Really?
That's what
I had
was
no
told.
idea.
So who knows?
How could that be?
Yeah.
It's definitely weird because of the layout of the where the teams are and whatnot. But
The layout of the United States.
yeah,
It's
how the states are.
it's going to be really
spread
interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. So many. I just feel like these down south teams have kind of shined a light on what could be for a lot of empty rinks, and probably Binghamton too.
Yeah. Did you hear? I forgot what two teams it was, but there's supposed to be some sort of scrimmage game in Texas or something.
I think I did mention this. I know Soskin went on a podcast and he mentioned something about a team in Texas.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to do some sort of exhibition.
So it was like
Carolina. They did the past couple of years.
Yeah, you guys
like what they did with
did
Mississippi and Baton Rouge. Like it's
yeah.
probably going to be the same thing.
Didn't you guys play one in Georgia in 2019?
Oh, these guys played in.
No, we played in Bloomington,
Minnesota.
Bloomington. Illinois, is it? I don't know. It's
Illinois.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Illinois.
We passed Danville, I know that. So we went, we played Carolina for 2 or 3. I think we swept them. It was awesome. But I think that was my first weekend back.
Suck it.
Yeah.
There's some no, but there's probably a lot of empty rinks in Texas that would theoretically work in this league if they had other people. Like if you're going to open up in Louisiana, you could theoretically start to open up in Texas, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
should
I
be
mean,
able to. I mean,
yeah.
there's probably definitely a lot. Like even in Philly, there's that class of 23 rink. It's beautiful.
That would be
They
good.
did renovations, but it's so hard to have like a team with such a popular sports marketing.
We've
with
argued
that.
about this
Yeah.
before, and you're a South Jersey guy, so you still say no to Atlantic City, huh?
I would say no. Honestly, it didn't work out. I mean, I think Boardwalk Bullies won a championship in the 2 to 3
think
years
they
they were
did.
there. But it's like same with Trenton. Trenton has a beautiful rink there. It's just not the market really. For
If
it.
you had to pick, like if you had to definitely do it, but you got to pick one of those two, Trenton or Atlantic City.
Trenton, Atlantic City. It's like 30 minutes from my house.
There you go.
And it's like Mississippi where there's casinos everywhere, like right on the water.
That's
so.
why I thought it would be
Yeah.
a similar type of thing. There's probably a bunch of cheap housing around.
Bet
you
on
know
the
what I mean?
games.
Bet on the
Bet on
yeah,
the
it'd be great.
games.
Yeah.
That'd be the only other team you played for, hey?
Imagine how
Honestly,
messy.
They would for sure would be the only team I would play for.
Imagine how messy some type of like federal league all-star game in Atlantic City would be.
That would be wild.
Like the fans and the like,
The
That'd be
hotel.
wild. Yeah, the hotels would be.
I'd just
it'd
be
be a riot.
absolutely fucking nutty. I went down there for a beer league tournament with 4 teams, and it was an absolute
Play at
riot.
the skate zone.
Yeah.
right next to that old baseball.
When are you gonna buy that, bro?
I would love to if I had the money, man.
Somebody had like that. That's another thing
It
that
just got bought out by someone again. I think Black Bear or something like that.
Oh, did they
Yeah,
come
the
in?
Canadian
Yeah.
company because they bought out all the skate zones in South Jersey other than Voorhees.
The crazy thing about that Atlantic City property is, again, listen, Atlantic City's not crystal clear perfect, but there's so much property right by
Yes.
that rink that you could literally.
There was an old airport. Now I think the state police do like training down there, like right behind the rink.
The problem is that there's no old hangar or old structure right there you could just put a rink into right now. But I mean, theoretically, if you bought all that land, you could probably build an FHL rink right there and practice in the other thing. That was someday maybe we'll see it. That'll be Herm's retirement job.
No, he's not allowed in South Jersey.
He's done.
Only North Jersey.
That's funny.
Boys, I mean, it's been fun. Obviously, love having you guys on. We're excited for next weekend. I know it might be a rough one, but we'll be cheering for you guys at home.
Sounds good.
Anything you want to say to the fans before you go?
No, nothing really. Just stick with the process, and we're gonna find ways to string some wins here and make another run at this.
Yeah. We appreciate you guys, even though we may not be your favorites when we're not winning. But, we promise we're working hard, and it'll all come through for sure.
Love it, boys.
Thanks for coming in,
Yeah.
guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
This is a great one.